want to talk a little bit about investing in people. Andy, tell me a little bit from your perspective about, what's it about investing in people that's driven you to create CareerForces?
So the background comes from 30 odd years in the army. So the thing that you learn very quickly within the forces is that it's not about you, it's about the team around you, and that the team is critical. Now, I guess that's true in business as well. You know, whenever you talk to a company, particularly in manufacturing, they talk about teamwork, they talk about communication, health and safety, looking after the people around you. And Broanmain is an example of how to do that, in my opinion. Training is absolutely critical. Investing and showing people that if they want it, not everybody wants it, but if they want to, there is a career path in the company. That is really important. So that's what we try to do in the company. We try to find that sort of business that will invest in. These are absolute cornerstones of a military training program and how I was brought up, and I've just carried that on really. And I think it's a really good thing to think about others. It's not always about just you, and society has got in some ways some parts of society have forgotten that, and I think COVID has sort of made people reassess their lives in some ways. Suddenly people had a lot of time. They couldn't go to see people that they loved or they'd missed. So some of us have changed the dynamic. So I'm not sure that whilst I don't wish the illnesses and the circumstances that COVID has brought, in many ways, in the way that we operate our businesses, in the way we treat our friends, in the way that we think about people now, things have changed, and some of it's for the better.
We have quite a strategy around recruitment and retention, and that is that we try and recruit people that have the right values. And our interview structure very much questions people's core values as how they work amongst other people, how they believe they should treat a business, how they believe our customers should be treated. And then we also look at what their skills are, because obviously they do need the right skills to do the job. But if we believe they've got the right fit and the ability to train, then we'll take them on into a role and provide their training for them. If they are the wrong fit, then we just don't offer to them. And we really believe that we would rather struggle without people than have the wrong people, because it takes one person to just pull, especially when there's only 30 of you, one person just pulls things in the wrong direction very quickly. Generally speaking, there's a real skills shortage of engineers and plastics processors, particularly in the UK. So it's our job the only way we can do that is to recruit people and train them. So, and as a business, we're trying to grow. And one of the reasons we want growth is to continue to offer opportunities to the people who work here, because if we don't grow, people come to work here and after 4 years, they've got nowhere to go. And that's no good for us. If you don't grow, you're not even standing still, are you? You're falling back because everybody else is growing. So we have to move on that trajectory, and it's great because actually we've got great succession planning. And I'd like to think that most people here can see somewhere that they could be if they wanted to be.
Andy showed me a little clip of one of your employees just walking around the area where he worked, and Andy said that what was so obvious was the person was really empowered. He felt, you could see it was his part of the factory type of thing. So just tell me a little bit about how you empower your staff.
Camille in particular started working here, I think about 4 or 5 years ago as an operator, and he's done an apprenticeship in tool making, and he now is in charge of our tool room. So he's had a great development course, and that's been very structured. He's obviously had incremental pay increases as he's completed different elements of his course. His manager left 18 months ago, and he didn't automatically get the job of tool room manager, but he stood in for a while, tried it out, and he's done amazingly. Everybody is involved at all sorts of levels, depending on what decisions we're making, but what we try and do is make sure that all the departments have their own plans. The department managers consult with their teams about things changes we might make. The teams then feed that back through the department plan and then back into management. It doesn't always work. Different departments, depending on the managers, but we're doing better in some departments than others. But just trying to keep everybody involved at a relevant level seems to be the way forward. And actually, COVID has helped with that understanding, because it was doing all of the risk assessments for the different areas was too much for one person to do all in one go. So we literally upskilled 2 people from every department. They did some online training, and then they were in charge of running their own risk assessments in consultation with their colleagues as well. So it really brought a lot of interaction, and it's really shown everybody that once everybody is involved, it makes it easier because you've got more people driving something. But nobody can complain when you've done it because they were involved all along. They had the opportunity to say, oh, that wouldn't work, whatever. So I'd like to think that's how people are empowered, and just knowing that there's an opportunity for progression, I think.
But the point is, the career is the term here, not job, not just a job. They want to move into something where they're not used to changing jobs every 2 or 3 years or every 12 months. They want to stay and have continuity many times. That's what quite often these type of people are looking for. And that's why I think they are such good candidates for companies such as yourself, where if you show the interest in them and the training and development, so just investing in them as a person, they will pay you back in loyalty and in spades, I think.
There is a bit of a shift in how people perceive their careers, though, because I think being able to apply for jobs via LinkedIn, being headhunted on LinkedIn, I think sometimes that allows people to believe that they've got a higher value than they might have. And I think people do move on from jobs more quickly than they used to.
Can I come in there? No, sorry. So having a higher value is a really, really good point. So I will get approached by somebody who's, let's say, typically has become a middle manager in the military. That might be a staff sergeant, a warrant officer, and they might be on a middle salary, £35,000, £40,000. And then, of course, they come out of that particular environment, and it's managing that expectation then, because unless they've got a particular skill set that industry is looking for, the reality is they'll have a lot of they'll have we turn up for work on time, we're very adaptable, we're approachable, we're a good team player. They've got all that, but they won't have the individual skills to work in your company. So it's getting them to understand that you might take a step backwards slightly in pay, but look where you might be in 2 or 3 years' time. It's a real education thing and managing their expectations sometimes. And I think COVID has made that an easier process, because now people are realizing that jobs actually are really important, and let's get a job and let's build on that job, but let's try and get you in the right place at the start, and then you can develop.